Hello, this is Mr. Darcy, and Mr. Darcy really likes people. It's one of his best qualities. If you've met him, he becomes your best friend. Another quality of Mr. Darcy is he loves to walk trails, and we call him Rocket Dog. As we look at the challenge, the Easter challenge that we have been involved with here at Valley Christian, which is simply reading Luke chapter 24, and Acts chapter 1, and Acts chapter 2. And we're just reading this text over and over again and just letting the stories come alive. And as we look at the first part of that in Luke 24, our two guys walking from Emmaus, Cleopas, call him Cleo, and his friend, the text tells us they're at least 7 miles outside of Jerusalem on a pathway that is craggy and hilly. They've probably been walking now for 4 or 5 hours. It's evening and Jesus joins them. And the best we can tell from our opinions is that that Jesus joined them for another hour, 2 hours. But they didn't completely get it until they were sitting down. And he opens their minds after he prays for the meal. And it's a recurring text in Luke 24. You probably caught it, open tomb, right? Jesus now resurrected, open minds of Cleo and his friend. They get back to the disciples, and it's got to be almost morning now, middle of the night, but the disciples are still in the room. And the guys bust in, sweaty, worn out, and say they've seen Jesus. And then Jesus shows up. Jesus opens their mind to the scriptures, which sets the stage for Acts chapter 1 and 2. And I just want to focus on the difference of our fellows when they were walking away from Jerusalem. They were confused, complacent, but once they realized, they were completely open to who Jesus is and what he's done for them. They become open to a whole new way of life. It's a game-changing moment. And so we talk about this Easter challenge in reading Luke 24 and Acts chapter 1 and 2. What we want to add to the challenge is that you would make a map of your neighbors. I know some of you live in the Sandhills, and so your map is going to be miles versus like my house. And I want you to list their first names. I want you to list their pets. I want you to list one of their favorite activities, maybe list their favorite meal. And our goal here is to help them connect with Jesus. If they already know Jesus Christ, we want to encourage you, we want to celebrate that you know Jesus and they know Jesus. If they don't know Jesus, we want you to begin in this Easter challenge to help them see Jesus in a clearer way. You think, well, I don't know much about the Bible. You've got Luke chapter 24, you've got Acts chapter 1, and Acts chapter 2. It's enough. If you've read it already several times, you know that you have the argument of who Jesus is, and you see the response and what to do. I just want to challenge you to read Luke 24, Acts 1, and chapter 2. And then to make a map of your neighbors and begin to know them better. Thank you.